It's the 4th of August and I'm Tom Glasson. Welcome to The Roast. Now, we've been off air for the past 3 weeks and so much news happened while we were gone. So much terrible news. Crisis in the Middle East, crisis in Ukraine, plus someone here left the tap on and now the whole kitchen's flooded, so it's crisis in the kitchenette. I think it's pretty clear no one here should ever take a holiday again. Oh, I'm sorry, like it's a really hard thing hanging out with your best friend in the entire world.
We hate you!
You can all have Christmas Day off, okay? Well, Christmas morning, but be in here by 11 so that we can all open my presents from you together, okay? Before we get to Christmas Day, though, here is Mark Humphries with the headlines.
Yay!
Oh, now you cheer.
The Labor Party is launching a 5-week campaign on the theme that Tony Abbott is a liar. So if you didn't think Labor was a viable alternative government with a vision for the future, get ready to be proven right. Opposition leader Bill Shorten, of course, is the perfect politician to expose people as liars, having not told one lie.
I support Julia Gillard. I have and I continue to do so.
Therefore, I shall be supporting Kevin Rudd tonight.
During the campaign, Shorten plans to reveal a new Tony Abbott lie every day for 5 weeks. It's all part of Mr. Shorten's commitment to being really lame. But if the campaign is successful, Tony Abbott will be forever known as a liar, unlike these politicians who have never lied.
Uh-oh.
The Commonwealth Games, the sporting competition where you have to have been invaded by England to play, are finally about to begin. They're finished. And what a games it was. They provided plenty of memorable highlights. Who could forget what's his name in the pole thing and who's it's in the sandpit jump? The Glasgow Games was Australia's worst overall performance since 1986, with our athletes only winning 137 medals. The closing ceremony featured a handover to the next Games host, Australia's Gold Coast, with champion Sally Pearson announcing to the crowd,
"Come on down to where Australia shines. Just say Sally invited you."
Good luck with that advice. Scott Morrison won't have a bar of it. I keep telling you, Sally invited me! Agriculture Minister Barnaby Joyce says the idea Australia will become Asia's food bowl is ridiculous. Barnaby Joyce, seen here with his cousin Lama B. Joyce, believes Australia simply won't be able to make enough food.
We feed right now about 60 million people. If we doubled our production to 160 million people, we still couldn't even feed half of Indonesia.
Double 60 million is 160 million. Barnaby Joyce there, proving why he missed out on becoming Minister for Basic Maths. And finally, today marks the centenary of the declaration of World War I. Over 16 million people were killed during the war to end all wars, but fortunately we learned our lesson and there's never been any fighting since.
Bum, bum, bum. For
the roast, I'm Mark Humphries.
Thank you, Mark. You know what? Get ready to scratch the Israeli-Palestinian conflict off that funky playlist, because on Friday, both sides agreed to a 72-hour humanitarian ceasefire. All right, 72 hours. Let me just grab the trusty old ceasefire stopwatch and start the clock.
A 72-hour humanitarian ceasefire held for less than 2 hours.
And stop. 2 hours? Honestly, what did they do for the other 70? Really? Oh, that is terrible. And I'm going to guess both sides were in complete agreement as to who broke the truce.
Palestinian officials say Israeli tanks shelled southern Gaza. Israel's prime minister says Hamas fired first.
As I said, both sides in complete agreement that it was definitely the other guy's fault. And if you were looking for a clear-cut illustration of the Israel-Palestine divide, it was here in Sydney yesterday, where within hours of each other, rallies in support of Israel and the Palestinians were held in different parts of the city, sending the important message that Israelis and Palestinians must work separately and continue to blame each other. Now look, this is a very complex issue, and while most news networks are content to cover both sides of the story, only The Roast covers every possible side of the story, which brings us to our new segment.
I've got a view, you've got a view. Hey, who are you? Someone with a point of view too. So let's you and me hear every possible side of the story. Yeah.
Tonight, we're covering every possible side of the conflict in Gaza. Jazz, you're there on the ground.
Yes, Tom. Here in Gaza, everyone is very angry towards Israel because that's where the attacks are coming from.
Speaking of Israel, that's where Alex is.
Tom, here it feels like there are rockets coming from Gaza, and that feeling's not surprising because that is actually happening.
Well, of course, some say Israel is acting disproportionately.
And some say that's in retaliation.
Can I just butt in there, Tom?
Clark Richards, regular Australian.
Now, not really understanding the history of the region, I'm going to have to agree with the last pundit I saw on TV and then only post articles that confirm my newly founded beliefs.
All right, thank you for that, Clark. And for more, I'm joined by Dave Ferrier, who is friends with Clark on Facebook.
Tom, Clark has posted his third pro-Pakistan article on Facebook. Now, it's tempting to call him an idiot, but then the post already has 47 likes, so I'm going to side with him. Free Pakistan.
Look, on the flip side, not all people in Israel support the war.
And not everyone in Gaza is from Hamas.
Okay, what about the UN?
Not
Completely
useless.
And according to Clark, controlling us through genetically modified crops.
Right, well, speaking of Clark.
Tom, I've decided it is their land.
Whose?
Yep.
Okay, well that's really helpful, Clark, because we're all trying to come to a solution to something that's been raging for absolute decades. Honestly, if you can't put anyone...
Let you and me hear every possible side of the story, yeah.
And to think they said a 10-minute satirical news show could never solve conflict in the Middle East. Where's the voiceover guy?
Do you have a solution to bring peace to the Middle East? Are you better than generations of professional diplomats who have spent their entire careers trying and failing to do just that? Why are you talking about it on Facebook instead of getting a job at the UN? We'd love to hear about it. @TheRoastTV or #RoastTV.
Finally tonight, the government has revealed its new Work for the Dole program. So if you are one of the 13.4% of young people who are currently unemployed, it looks like not working could be your most rewarding job yet. As well as your lowest paid, because along with having to apply for 40 jobs a month, you'll also be required to do 25 hours of community service every week in order to receive your $510 fortnightly payment, which means you are getting paid $10 an hour. Want to see a union because you're being paid $6 below the minimum wage? Well, bad luck, because there is no union for people who are a drain on the economy. Now, oh, there is. It's the Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance. Please don't cancel my membership. So if it's not good for the people, it must at least be good for the economy. I mean, all that cheap labour.
The expanded Work for the Dole scheme will cost about $1 billion extra over 3 years.
Yep, right, yeah, $1 billion. Well, they really must be teaching people some important, marketable skills to justify that cost.
In Adelaide, a group of Work for the Dolers are making World War I dioramas for RSL clubs.
I don't know about that. Isn't the War Remembrance diorama maker field already pretty overcrowded? To find out how this new scheme really benefits the unemployed, this morning we fired one of our own reporters. All right, everyone, put him in. Now to recap, whosever name I pull out, you're fired immediately, all right? No exceptions, no excuses. Okay, here we go. No, well, I'm the host, so that wouldn't work. All right, is it Tom again? That's weird. All right, Tom, this one's in my handwriting as well. You know what? Alex.
Yeah?
You're fired.
Oh.
So let's now cross to Alex Lee, who is at the Walkerville RSL Club. Alex, how is this experience enriching your life?
Oh, hey, Tom, I really miss you guys. Look, I've spent today rebuilding the Battle of Dead Man's Ridge, and when I get home, I'm fighting and applying for 2 jobs every day, or they cut off my welfare for 8 weeks. So yeah, busy, busy, busy.
Yeah, still, it's all good experience, isn't it? You know, learning plenty of new skills.
Oh, look, I don't want to brag, but I'm getting really good at painting tiny little moustaches on figurines of Turkish soldiers.
Oh, well, put that straight on the resume. So do you think this scheme will get Dole bludgers like yourself back into the workforce?
Well, I certainly hope so, although a University of Melbourne study did find that people who participated in Work for the Dole actually spent longer amounts of time on benefits.
Now, Alex, don't go filling your unemployed little head there with these academic studies. You've got jobs to apply for.
Speaking of, Tom, did you guys get my resume?
Oh, yeah. We're not really hiring now, though. You know, if you didn't want to lose your job, you shouldn't have been the first name out of the hat. Oh, whoa.
Thank you, victim of the current economic climate. You have truly earned your $510 this fortnight. Now grape me.
Thank you, Master, but you can't put a price on the experience I'm gaining from this placement.
Yeah, Nick, I can't help but notice you seem to be taking advantage of this scheme.
Tom, I'm a businessman, so when I heard the words forced labour and exploiting the poor, naturally, I was on board.
Sure.
Making poor people work for next to nothing in jobs they aren't allowed to choose is a tried and true idea. You think the pyramids would have been built if all those slaves in ancient Egypt were holding out for their dream jobs in IT?
Well, no, I guess not. So, Nick, I can't help but notice you seem to be painting the naked bodies of men.
Yeah, they're my new interns, Tom. The government sent them to me to give them workplace experience. And what better way to prepare them for the cutthroat job market than by making them cut each other's throats for sport? I should really oversee that, though. I am their supervisor. OH&S and all.
Cool.
Fight, you scumbags!
Right.
Yes, yes, fight for your Dole!
He's dead, Master.
Excellent. Now go home and apply for 40 jobs.